welcome back to the channel. On today's video, I'm going to show you, again, I am not a professional logger. Every single tree you cut down is different. You could have 50 in a row. They all may behave differently. So anyways, I'm going to talk about when I bore cut. And that this is debated. Again, I'm not a professional. I'm not a logger. I'm not an arborist. I've just been cutting wood here on the homestead now for about 6 years. We heat with an outdoor boiler. And I'm going to talk about when I like to use a bore cut. So let's go ahead. What a bore cut is generally, you make your notch cut on the tree, and then you usually come in from the back. That's conventional logging or a conventional style cut. Well, a bore cut is when you actually bore through the center of the tree and then rip out the back generally. Or you can cut a higher back strap. There's a couple ways to do a bore cut. But anyways, when and where is the key, and also what species. Now, if you look, this is a maple tree. Now, if you're just consistently watching, we just cut down a maple tree in our last video. Now, this has got some lean to it, but it's been growing like this for a while. As you can see, that top stump is going up. So if you think about it, think about cutting trees is how, if you were to lean. If I was to lean like this, all that tension is going to be in the front half, if you will. Like, I'm on my toes, all my weight's forward, so all the tension is on the face. So kind of imagine trees as if you were leaning. If you were leaning like this, all the tension on this tree is going to be on this side. So if you make a conventional notch and rip in with a back cut, this tree, because of the lean, may barber chair. Now, barber chair can be a lethal situation. It can be pretty deadly. I've heard some more stories of people actually getting killed by barber chairs. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a notch cut. I'll put the camera nice and low, and then we'll bore through it, and then I'll blow out the back. Because again, this is a maple. Generally, the holding wood on maples is around the edges. The center is generally soft. So doing a bore cut, we are going to have all this back strap here, if you will, as beef to hold our tree. So let's clean this up, and then we'll get you guys set up, and we'll cut this bad Larry down for some firewood. Clear landing there, trails right here. This is an easy money tree right here. So yeah, let's go ahead and roll, baby, roll. Thanks for tuning in today. Let's get right into it. So I'm going to make the face cut now, and you do not need a large face cut when you're doing bore cuts. Generally, the trees are leaned over. There is no way on God's green earth that this tree is going to go any other direction but right here. So let's set you guys up. We'll do this. So that's it. That's all you really need is you don't need a large face cut. So what we're gonna do is, this is obviously our face cut. We're gonna go up about here, and we're gonna bore through, and then we'll get about halfway through, and then we'll rip out the back strap. What you can do is you can get about, I don't know, 3/4 of the way back, and then what you can do is pull your saw out and come up, and then cut they sometimes call this a trigger. Cut the trigger off the back. So either way, you can do it. We're just gonna bore in, and then probably just rip out the back. All right, so as you can see, we got our notch here, and our bore cut came out right about back. Plenty of holding wood. Again, this tree is a pretty heavy leaner, so as far as holding wood goes, it'll be okay. So let's do now is we'll set you guys up, and we'll rip out the back of this. Now what you can do is, this is our bore cut here. I've seen people just rip out the back like this. I've also seen people come up a couple inches and do that, more of a trigger style, just a slower release. This tree isn't too big. It's not like we're taking down a 100-foot Doug fir or something huge, but we're just gonna start the saw, go in, we're gonna rip out the back. So. All right, so as you can see, it came down right where we wanted. It's important to know your species. Maples, this is all softwood in here. So you could see where my original saw marks were. I bored in here, through all this, pretty much call it heartwood, deadwood, and we had this as a back strap that was holding this whole tree. After we bored through here, this was holding that whole tree up. So obviously, as you saw, once we came back in and ripped the back off, we had plenty of hinge wood here, and it went down safely. So again, I am not a professional. I am just a homeowner. Do your own research, do your own diligence. Every tree is different. So what we're gonna do now is, actually, while I still got you here, if you feel like sticking around, I appreciate it. We're gonna buck this up for some firewood. So let's mark it out for 16-inch sections, and then let's get the saws and let's rip.